take another look at this chopper. The original sheath, working very well with the new configuration. Excellently well. I put this piece of rope on it, meaning that I can sling it over one shoulder, like so, have quick access like He-Man, or, you know, like this way, or I can even carry it kind of backpack style, in which case it's obviously much heavier this way around, so the most comfortable way to carry it would be probably like this. Right, and the retention is great, not going anywhere, so that's cool. Well, it's been undergoing constant modification for the last few days, so I've been sanding on the part of this handle here, and this is something of interest to me because I felt that this was probably too slim down at the pommel here and that I might want to build it out this way. But in fact, I've concluded that it's good slimline like this, but it needs to be very rounded out, because when I'm gripping it down here, I'm gripping it more this way, you see? So when something is squared off, it sits well on the flats, you know? Let's say it's fairly squared off here, so it fits well behind the flat of your hand, right? Not so well here, but down here, I'm gripping it in that angle. And this hand position is good for scything, you know, if you're going to cut some grass or something. So that gives you a kick on the blade, right? Pretty big one. Also for chopping, because I have found that I can split wood with this using this area of the blade here. Down here it's very thin and very sharp, and here the blade thins out, so you can put a lot of power in up here, much more power, but you don't get the thickness. Here it's nice and thick, right? So probably very comparable to what's going on this hatchet here. I doubt that will really be easy to gauge like this, but you know, not dissimilar down here. So that'll wedge and that'll split if you hit it right. And again, I'll be using this hand position then. Here, I'm getting 4 clear hand positions. This would be your whittling position here. Nice and choked up. And here and here is a bit more chopping, slashing. And then down here, like, yeah, the scything and kind of splitting action or what have you. Works well in all positions. The twine micarta wrap is very grippy, but the oak is also pretty grippy. And the bluing, I really like it on the blade. There are a couple of areas where there was still some glue on the blade, and so it didn't blue there. But I can scrape that off and touch it up anytime, you know. And similarly, this I can just re-ebonize. And also, there's an area here where you can see some grain. It's not black. So that time because I ebonized the whole thing, and then I filed it a bit. And so when I re-ebonized it, I let it cure for a bit, and then I just threw oil on it. I rinsed it, and put oil on that, and that kind of stopped the treatment. So I guess, you know, you could do it just a little bit, get it brown, or you can do a really strong one and it goes black, you know, ebony black. Still some left there. So how I would use this, and addressing the question of the popular comment that why would you chop with something like this if you've got something like this? So let's have a look. I don't know why, for sure. I have some ideas. But if I do have both right here, what would I pick? I mean, right now, I'm in love with this thing, so I incline to pick this thing. So let me show you how I process some wood when I'm out in the woods. You know, I don't have a chopping block and what have you. I just do work by hand, and getting cramped myself a little space-wise here, but I'll be all right. So I just go in one direction, like this. So it's semi-supported, you know, it's on the ground, and then I'll just chop round until it snaps. This might go in one or two. Right. Okay, so let's try that with the hatchet. I mean, it's a tougher piece here, so I'm not going to hold that against it. But... okay, so now this piece is fairly consistent. So now let me go through one time with the hatchet and one through with the knife. It'll be a little thicker for the knife, but we'll see how that works. Usually I would just probably break this in two, but I'll do it in three now. Yeah, I mean, okay, again, that wasn't fair because this part was pretty punky. But I mean, so far it's feeling pretty comparable. Okay, let's move on to this now. This is a challenge. This I would, you know, this is more a matter for a chainsaw. But you can do it with this chopper, I reckon. Got a bit of cold in my wrist. I reckon you could do it with the chopper or with the hatchet. It's gone. Yeah, you can hear when it you hear when something breaks in the core, and then you can just kick it or tap it or whatever. So that was about 10. About the same. It was a little thinner there. So that was 9 chops, and I got through. So, still not noticing a huge amount of difference performance-wise. I feel like this is probably actually sharper than the axe, and that is going to massively skew the test, of course. Hadn't really thought about that. Oh, yes. I mean, it's sharp though. So, how much of a difference is that difference going to make when you're chopping in like this? You know, whether it's hair whittling sharp or not. I don't think it's going to make that much difference. But the geometry, this is thicker behind the edge. It's a lot thicker behind the edge from what I can, yeah. So, very similar weight-wise, pretty similar size-wise, but you know, let's say that if they're performing very much equally, then why would you be using this instead of this? Is because this has a lot more uses. If it can do what this can do, but it can also, you know, make you some curls. You know, you can do it with this actually. It's not quite so good on the ergos. I don't know, man. I just like a knife. Also, accuracy. Who says that I've got the greatest accuracy? So if I've got 3 times the cutting length on the implement, then it's going to make it easier for me to hit something with it, isn't it? Now, I can, with the extra reach that's on this, I can pick things up with it, bang it on the board and split it, you know, didn't have to really bend over. All kinds of uses. This thing's actually got to come down, but if I take it down right now, it's going to trash my fence. So I won't chop on that. Here, how about this one? Is that visible? Thank you for watching.